Viking, Creed's polarizing 2017 release. Not because it was bad smelling or off-putting, but because it left a lot to be desired for some. On one hand, you might have thought its pink peppercorn, peppermint, and lavender-driven fougere scent was too safe for its brazen name. Some like myself were more critical of its elevated price point, even creeping as high or higher than industry and cult favorite Aventus. And to me, that price point is still ludicrous till this day. But regardless of how you feel about Viking, no one can deny the anticipation and hype it generated. And I guess it was big enough to generate enough sales to warrant its first flanker. So here it is by way of Olivier and Erwin Creed, it's Viking Cologne. And today I will let you know everything you need to know about this stuff right here. How it performs off of me, what people think of it off of me, if it is fragrance of the year material, and ultimately if you should buy it or skip it. So here's my Creed Viking Cologne fragrance review, and without further ado, roll intro, roll video. Now, Viking Cologne dropped in mid-spring 2021, and as of today, it retails for a clean $445 US. So what do you get for that? Firstly, you get a wrapped in cellophane box. Yes, I already opened mine, and if you don't already know, Creed has been cellophane wrapping their men's and or unisex millesime scents for the last 2 years, and that is something that they never used to do. However, I'm not sure if they do this for any of their other lines like the Le Royale exclusives or Aqua Original. If you have any info on that, please let me know in the comments section below. But yeah, this is the standard paper box, but in orange of course, and it kind of reminds me of a LaCie Thunderbolt external hard drive if you're into tech stuff as well, just saying. Then underneath you got the reference number and the lot number, the latter of which may be crucial in years to come. Don't worry, I already see some of you Creed fuckboys archiving this shit, I see y'all. But then here's the main event for presentation, the bottle itself. Still slaps if you ask me, nothing beats a good Creed presentation as far as sheer regality, classy as hell, and when they don't experience hack jobs like quality control issues and or variation, they also really feel good in hand. And that's how I feel about this one with the orange wrap and the now centered Viking Cologne. So absolutely no complaints here. And yes, for all you batch harlots, there is the corresponding lot number. Other than that, here's the top with the clicker bishop miter cap also on point, and then you know I love a good spray distribution, which is also what you get here. So that is about it for presentation, but what about Viking Cologne scent most importantly? Opens up with super bright citruses, and this is the first main difference between this and OG Viking. While the OG had some citrus and notably pink pepper, the keyword is notably, like the pink pepper there was harsh-ish, at least in comparison to what you're getting here in Viking Cologne. Like sure, you still get some of it here, but I'm telling you the cornucopia of citruses that now supersedes what wasn't there before is just really pleasant here. Leans more juicy and slightly sharp than anything sour, and it's mainly led by that mandarin note specifically, which I guess may explain the presentation. So A for effort there, I guess, Creed. But in the mid minutes in where the pink pepper is already easing up, you now also have notes that replicate the minty vibe of the OG, but more of a subtle kind of vibe. So there's that rosemary and sage for an aromatic kick, but then also the more typically standard aromatic approach is thrown out the window. Like there's way less lavender here in comparison to the OG. Now I get why they would do that here, because Viking was more of an ode to the old school, like a more true ode. This is more of a new school cologne approach, hence the name as well. So in the mid here you have this geranium as well, which is done in a more modern way, because I know this is also a really retro note for some. Here it's its usual green, fresh, slightly metallic aromatic self, and I think it's awesome once it starts to emit off of your skin. But when it starts to finally taper off during the base, you're not really getting a whole lot there. Sure, you get a little bit of vetiver, sure you get a little bit of frankincense, but it's nothing too crazy here. They both lean kind of clean. The frankincense as well notably is a kind of smokiness that I don't think people should be apprehensive of. It's a greener, airier kind of resin, and I think it's a lot of fun here and adds a nice crispness at the end. So yeah, it's good stuff. And that's about it. But overall, what do we think of Creed Viking Cologne's scent? I really like it. I think it's a really classy way to go as far as colognes go. But if I did have a major gripe with it, I would say other than its pink pepper, I feel like it's too much of a departure from the OG Viking. Like the fact that I have to think about it being a flanker unless I saw the bottle just kind of irks me, because again, the main notes that make OG Viking pretty notable are just really toned down here. Like I really wish we could see a more summery take on mint here as well. I think that would be a lot of fun with the citrus at the top, but Creed said nope. So who knows, maybe we'll see that in a future flanker, say if this one does well. It is hard to say, but altogether as far as this scent versus the OG, again on just scent alone, I think I prefer this based on how pleasant it is. But I know for some of you, a good scent really doesn't matter unless it performs too, so let's talk about that. I'd say projects like light to medium at best for maybe a couple hours. It's almost like you wear this around to not stink, then tell everyone that you're actually wearing a fragrance. But then once in a while, maybe you get lucky with a nice waft when someone walks by or a breeze, and then someone actually gets a whiff of it then. But yeah, as far as overall longevity, I would say I get 6 to 7 hours, which I cannot complain for anything that says the word, again, cologne on it. And for the record, this is not an eau de cologne concentration. Just sometimes French brands like to use the word cologne to imply freshness or lightness, rather than listing the word as big as they can there to list its concentration. So no, this is not amongst the lowest of concentrations. It certainly doesn't feel that way when you at least get a waft of it from your skin. It feels rather full and concentrated, just like the other millisemes from Creed. Again, just like most of them, it tapers off because these notes are naturally fleeting. So I'd still say that there's definitely quality in that. It's just, if you prefer that hard spec of performance, longevity, projection, that sort of thing, then this and or most Creeds, it's probably not the brand for you. Now, before we get into the next part, I just want to quickly say that I hope you also love fine fragrances of all kinds from all price points, because you know I already do. And because of that love, because of the hard work that we put in here at CascadeScents, I often get asked, what's a way I can help support you or the channel directly? And who knows, maybe I'll have a donation button set up in the near future, or a Patreon or something like that. But at the end of the day, that stuff still costs you money, and I'd rather offer you something free for now. So if you've yet to, and you are already enjoying this video, please hit the red button, please subscribe, because we are on the train to 30,000 subscribers. So if you want to be one of the cool kids, come along, the more the merrier. That, and if you are really enjoying this kind of content, please also hit the notification bell as well. You know, so you're among one of the first ones to be viewing new content in the near future. So once more, please, all aboard the 30,000 subscriber train. You know I can't do this without you. On to the next part now. But onto the versatility category now, and with all of that being said, with this thing's performance, as well as the type of scent it is, I would say that this thing obviously leans more summery and or for warmer spring or fall days. And then of course for indoor use as well during the winter when it's not actually going to be cold inside. Just because with the makeup of this scent, unless you are getting sun and or heat and or have enough moisture to keep this stuff on your skin, it's just gonna get eaten up by the cold. So yeah, just keep it to the most radiant of days for, I guess, either blue or white collar men. I just feel like most people are going to love this. And if you're a woman who appreciates cologne style scents, I think you might dig this too. And then I'd say occasion wise, it's great for nearly anything. So we're talking casual, work, play, or formal use. So if you're mainly in a warm area, who knows, this might be your next signature scent. Moving on to the feedback category now, and yes, I call this the feedback category and not the compliment category, because compliments imply that any kind of remarks regarding your fragrance will always be positive. And of course, that could not be further from the truth, because feedback can range from none to even to shit to excellent. So there, just had to clarify just to keep it a buck for everyone here. And I guess, yeah, if feedback is paramount to you, then definitely pay attention here. Yes, your date will likely like this off of you if she catches a whiff of it. Like, how can she not? It's all the pleasant parts of it being citrusy, fresh, a bit metallic, and professional, kind of vibey. So unless your partner has some sort of vendetta against cologne style fragrances, I think they'll at least appreciate this on some level. And if it makes you feel any better, I went on a couple dates with this, and I would say she really liked it. I wouldn't say she loved it, because there's other ones that I think she's preferred in the past. But yeah, she liked this up close. But another thing, that is the key word, up close. So again, with the performance or lack thereof that we spoke of earlier, just don't expect to be filling up rooms with this stuff and or eliciting unsolicited compliments from, say, others that you aren't familiar with. But with that aside and everything else considered for feedback, does it have the compliment factor? I would say soft yes. And last but not least, we have the value category. Is this stuff worth it? I would say at $445 US in North America, absolutely fucking not. But that could be just about said for the entire brand here, because, you know, Creed decides to continue to gouge us with these prices. And if you want me to get into that, that could be reserved for a completely different video. I know I've gone on about it at large in the past. Short answer to why they do it, it's because they can. It's because they can. There's just enough of those guys willing to spend that kind of retail money for it. That's why things are like that. But on the other hand, what if you want to pick this up, but this North American retail stuff doesn't apply to you. Let's say if you're copying this when it hits the gray market. Will it be worth it then when it's closer to maybe European MSRP, which is way lower? At that rate, yes, I can definitely recommend this stuff. No, it's probably not going to be anyone's candidate for fragrance of the year. I definitely know that won't be one of mine. And yes, it's a flanker, so it's not reinventing the wheel either. But at this point, those things are obvious, and if you're the type to prioritize creativity to what is most important for buying niche fragrance, then this stuff just stands no chance for you. But if you're more like a regular Joe who just wants to spend a little bit more money or a lot more money on just a very super solid fragrance that can do it all, then I think you would be most likely happy with this purchase, and therefore I give this thing a thumbs up. At the end of the day, I have to judge this based on what the brand is and how happy their target market will be with the product. Creed makes arguably the most charming fresh fragrances since ever, and for them to come out with a cologne version for one of their more recent brazen offerings the way they did here, I think is simply splendid. Sure, I could use more mint and maybe a bit more projection, but for the latter there, I'm now just asking for something beyond a cologne flanker. And come to think of it, I don't think it would be redundant to own both this and the OG Viking like I once owned before. This for the warmer and more subtler occasions, and then the OG Viking for everything else. But since I parted ways with my OG Viking, if I could only own one, which one would it be? I'd say this stuff here in Viking Cologne. I'm just such a sucker for how pleasant it is. But yeah, I must have said the word pleasant like 5, 6, 7 times throughout this entire thing. So I think that about does it for me. What do you guys think of Viking Cologne by Creed? Have you checked it out yet? Are you even remotely interested? If you have tested it, do you like it? Is it worth it for you? Is it better than the original? Please let me know all of this in the comment section below. Besides that, please leave a big like as well as subscribe and hit that notification bell if you have yet to. Come on, y'all, we're on the train to 30,000 subscribers, so if you want to hop aboard, you want to be one of the cool kids, I would love to have you. So yeah, that finally does it. Until the next one, thank you so much for watching. Take care for now. Peace out. Bye. My name is Manny. Wear your fragrances.